He's like, are you trying to bribe me? Are you trying to bribe me right now? I'm like, no, man, no. I'm not trying to bribe you. I'm just saying, is there something that Americans do when they're getting arrested in Mexico to make it like it never existed?
Welcome to This Is Not Happening. I'm Roy Wood Jr. When traveling, make sure...
Keep going.
This next comedian coming to the stage, you all know this man from his comedy album, The Realest in the Game, my good friend, Rob Christensen.
I'm 35 years old, and I gotta tell you guys, it feels great to be halfway done. We're halfway there, baby. I'm getting older and I'm trying to smile more. I am. Because I realize that sometimes people will look at me and they'll get nervous that I'm gonna freestyle rap at their house party. I might do it. It's gonna be all originals with a limited vocabulary. But really, sometimes people will look at me and they'll think that I'm a dick because I have a resting dick face. And I had to think about, why do I look like that? And I really think it's because for a long period of my life, I sold drugs in Brooklyn. And when you work in that kind of line of work, it's good to look like a dick. You just want to like... just turn it up. Started when I was young, man. Like before 18, I used to go on drug adventures with my best friend Gary, and like we'd fly to Portland, Oregon, and we'd buy an ounce of meth, and then we'd fly it back on a plane hidden in our butt cheeks. And it was before 9/11, and before 9/11, it was so easy to fly drugs on an airplane. Our favorite trip that we used to take is we go down to Tijuana, Mexico, and we buy ketamine. It's the 90s, I'm sorry. And we get ketamine, and we take it back across the Mexican border. And we did this a whole bunch, and we knew a lot of bad people and a lot of good people doing bad things, and people were overdosing and dying, people were going to jail, and I felt like I was running out of chances. So I had to get out of Brooklyn, so I joined the Air Force. And that straightened me out enough to go to college, and it gave me money to go to college. So shortly after that, I found myself going to California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo, California. It was very different than Brooklyn. It's like the first time where I understood why people didn't like white people. Like I met people whose parents were still married. People whose parents wore suits to work. They were saving themselves till marriage. They were going to church every Sunday. I was terrified. But I was doing well, and I was cleaned up, and I was healthy, I was happy. And my best friend back in Brooklyn, Gary, he did the same thing. Went to college, he was happy, he was healthy, got a little money, decided to visit me. So he comes out to California. And Gary is a Russian Jew. And the only reason that I mention he's a Russian Jew is because he's a walking cartoon of a Russian Jew. He knows where you could buy a wife, and he'll haggle the price for you. He came to San Luis Obispo, and we were there just 3 hours north of Mexico, and we were feeling good, we were feeling healthy, and we decided, hey, for old time's sake, let's just drive to Mexico and commit a federal crime. we had a ritual that we do every time. We rent a car, and we go down, and we'd be the first ones there at the Granero when they opened up to buy ketamine. First ones in line. Well, there was no line. We're the only ones buying ketamine. But if there was ever a line, we'd be first. Then we would take the ketamine, and we'd immediately shoot it up with syringes. All right, listen, I didn't shoot it in a vein, okay? I'm not like a heroin addict. I'm better than them. I would shoot it in a butt cheek or arm muscle. In the muscle, I'm not gross. And then we get high on ketamine and we walk towards the beach. On the way to the beach, we would hit the fruit stand. I would buy a mango because I don't know how to cut a mango. The nut's too big. I always slip. I cut my hand. I'm too dainty for that. Then when we finally got to the sand, we would rent sad horses. By the time the horse ride was over, we'd be sober enough to get back in the car and go back to America. And this was the ritual we did over and over and over. We had it like clockwork. Must have been like 30 times we bought Kate, 30 different mangoes. We went and we rode 30 horses. I mean, it probably wasn't 30 different horses, you know, it was probably like repeat horses because they only had like 17 horses and horses get sick and they're hard to take care of and stuff. And like, you couldn't keep a stable of 30 horses. That'd be crazy. But still, I got on 30 saddles, is what I'm saying. And everything went according to plan. We got back in the car, and then we would drive deeper into the city to a quiet place where we would find a place to transfer the drugs and hide them to go back to America. What we'd do is we'd empty tequila bottles and then empty the liquid ketamine into the tequila bottles and reseal them. So when we get to the border, and the border patrol would be like, yo, dog, what are you bringing back? And I'd be like, yo, son, I just got this tequila. And he'd be like, no doubt, enjoy America. And then I'd play the national anthem. And I would cross the border. That might not be how Border Patrol agents talk. I don't know. I might be misremembering that part. So I see a place that looks quiet. And I turn up this block, and I end up going the wrong way up a one-way street. And on that street is an SUV filled with 4 federales. They see me, lights and sirens, pull me over, pull me out of the car, search the car, find all of our ketamine. So now we're screwed. I'm on the curb there, I got a gun in my face. And I'm actually nervous about this gun thing. But this is the first time I've ever been nervous when I had a gun in my face. In my life, it was the 3rd time I had a gun in my face. The first time I had a gun in my face is when I was 16 years old and I got caught writing graffiti in Brooklyn and a cop put a gun in my face. But I wasn't nervous that I'd get shot because I'm a white dude in America and we don't get shot. I could literally be waving a gun around and they'd be like, sir, calm down. Calm down, sir. Can we get you a soda? The second time I had a gun in my face, it was put there by my arch nemesis in Brooklyn, a white Crip named Willie Boats. And I wasn't nervous when Willie put a gun in my face because Willie Boats is a bitch who ain't gonna do shit. But this time, the 3rd time I got a gun in my face, I'm nervous. And the reason is because this time, I'm an actual bad guy. I'm a drug trafficker. I'm a drug tourist. You know, so the people back in San Luis Obispo where I came from, they don't see a difference between a drug tourist or a sex tourist or a hitman for the mafia. It's all just bad people to them. And I think, shit, if this cop thinks I'm a bad person, he might feel it's within his rights to actually shoot me. And I don't know if I blame him for it. Because I'm taking advantage of his country. But I've been in a lot of situations with cops before. So as soon as they tried to talk to me, I knew exactly what to do. I immediately started crying. It was wet tears down rosy cheeks. Might have been a little snot involved. The goal was for him to be like, there's no way I'm gonna put this little bitch in jail. And they separated us like cops do to interrogate us, try to get us to mix up our stories. And I was such a drug addict at the time, there was no way I was gonna rat out my drug dealer. So I wanted to scream a story loud enough for Gary to hear so he could repeat the story. So I'm like, we brought off some weird Mexican dude outside of the hotel that looks like a festival. And Gary screamed back, I don't know, we just buttered off some weird dude outside of a hotel that looks like a carnival! Close enough, Gary, you're a gangster. It's my G right there. Kept the connect. So now they realize nothing's gonna happen with the interrogation, and we reach the final part of this where it's like, what, are we gonna go somewhere, like to a dirty Mexican prison or what? What's gonna happen? And so I stopped him and I was like, hey man, is there like something I could do to make this go away? The cop got mad. He's like, what are you talking about? What are you saying to me right now? And I was like, I don't know, maybe like, can I give you something and then this doesn't happen? You know, like what, is there something? He's like, are you trying to bribe me? Are you trying to bribe me right now? I'm like, no man, no. I'm not trying to bribe you. I'm just saying, is there something that Americans do when they're getting arrested in Mexico to make it like it never existed? And the dude was like, yeah, you give me money, you give me money. But I didn't have no cash on me, and Gary didn't have no cash on him because we spent every dime we could on drugs. So I was like, listen, man, I gotta go. I could get it out of an ATM. And for some reason, Gary didn't have any money in an ATM. I still don't know why. To this day, he didn't offer up his ATM card. They're like, all right, no doubt. You go to the ATM and get some money for us, and we're just gonna hold Gary. We're just gonna hold Gary to make sure you come back. So now I'm on my way to an ATM. And I'm nervous, because like, I got my boy's life in my hands. I mean, we turned around at this point. We weren't hardcore drug dealers no more. We were just like kids trying to have fun again. Like, we were college kids now. We were straightened up. This is not supposed to be happening. I couldn't let myself go out like that, and I certainly couldn't let my boy go out like that. So I hit an ATM. I put the card in. Doesn't work. Something with my card being an American card, and I'm getting nervous. I hit another ATM. The same thing. It won't work. So that's it. I'm at the like last point where I'm just like, God, please, God, if you just let me get this money out the ATM and get out of this situation, I promise I will never, ever do drugs again. And I hit the third ATM, and boom, I get the money out. I pulled out like $250, which is like 3 million pesos or something. It just kept coming, like just fucking. And I rushed back to go save Gary. And when I get back, the situation's changed. Gary's now sitting in our rental car, white as a ghost. I don't know what they said to him to make sure he didn't move that fucking car. And then I look in the back, and all the cops are back in the SUV. And the SUV door just opens on its own like a horror movie. And I know that they want me to enter their little horror SUV. So I get into the back seat, and I climb in, and now I'm in between two federales, and there's two in the front. The dude who's driving is the leader, and he asks for the money. I give it to him, he counts it, and he was happy with the amount. And he's like, all right, get out of here. And I'm just like, I did it, and I'm climbing out. And I was like, that was so easy. I can't believe it was just took $250 to get out of this, and I'm halfway out the back of the SUV, and I get a hand on my shoulder, and a cop's spinning me around. I'm like, this is it. This is the gun in my face, the knife in my gut. They're gonna cut my head off, put it on a tortoise in the desert. I knew it was too easy, and the cop spins me around. I look at him, we make eye contact, and he's like, you forgot this, and gives me back all my drugs. Then I jump out of the SUV, I'm like, screw you, God, I don't even believe in you! I'm getting high, baby, see you on my deathbed. I I jump back into our car, we get going, we transfer our drugs, and we're going. We don't say anything to each other. We just been through this like traumatic experience, and we're driving, and I feel Gary turning to look at me, and he's gonna say like the first thing he said to me in probably 40 minutes. And I'm like, this is it. This is gonna be our first best friend, I love you. I've been waiting for him to say it. I'm gonna say it back. And I look at him, and I'm waiting for it, and he turns to me, and he looks at me, and he's like, you paid them way too much money. You could have gave him like $50, man. Why are you wasting? That's more drug money. Screw you, Gary. You owe me money now. We made it back, and we were safe, and we did our drugs. We did our drugs. And we haven't gone back to Mexico since then to smuggle any drugs. But I learned a really important lesson from that, and it's that you should never, ever drive the wrong way up a one-way street. And also, I'm not smuggling drugs no more from Mexico. But if by chance anyone has some ketamine already in America, I'm just saying, I got a birthday every year. Hook me up. Peace.
Rob Christensen, y'all.